This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
All right. Okay, great. So I'm going to start the meeting. And I just wanted to, right off the top, a few people can't come, but notes that Margie gave me was just, and I'll do the meeting notes, I think, today, but just that we need to remind everyone to not just turn off the water, but I think the mystery sprinkler is actually just someone has left the nozzle on the hoses on, like not like turned off the water at their garden. So it's just when people turn on the main pump house, they hear spraying water. I think it's just because people aren't turning those off. So just making sure people do that and winding up the hoses better. And then I'm gonna have a work day on Sunday from 3 to 5 or 6, depending on how folks want to do it when they get there. And we're going to focus on the thistle plot. And then I thought, because recently the boards by in between the pollinator garden and Jane's plot, I'll just see who shows up and if we can kind of tag team removing those things with depending on who's there. Off the top of your head, does anyone have anything they want me to add to the workday other than that? And we'll always come up with stuff as we go, but
I just wanted to note that Margie did say that we can dump the boards in her dumpster, but we have to call her first just to have her meet us there.
Okay, cool.
So
well, maybe I'll
transfer them.
I wonder if I could go in my dumpster too, or my apartment. I wonder to see. But okay. Anything for the workday on anyone's mind right now? Okay. All right. Let's move on to public comment. Anybody have anything they want to mention or add to the agenda or anything like that? Awesome. So everyone, I sent, oh shoot, I'm not sure. I sent a link to last month's minutes, but they were in the drive that everyone is shared with. No, I did do the minutes. Yeah. So I'd like to move to accept the minutes from June. Oh yeah, Karen.
So actually, I was at that meeting and my name's not listed as attending. And
okay.
For some reason, the pollinator report is attributed to someone named Kay Harrison.
Oh,
and that's not me.
Okay. Let me, all right, so we'll wait and we'll approve those next month. So that I can have Eric amend that. And
well, actually, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say what we could do is make the changes now because we can put it up to a vote about whether accepting it as amended. But we could put it over a month too. I'm just saying. Either way.
Just vote on it now, confirm it, and then make sure
as amended. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. All right. Well, then I move to amend June's minutes to note that Karen was there and Karen did present on the pollinator garden.
Okay, I second it.
Fabulous. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Okay, cool. I will email that to Eric too.
I move to accept the minutes as amended.
Awesome. And I second it. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Great. So yeah, Ted, go ahead. You're up.
I did. Did you ever receive my report?
I just forwarded it like 5 minutes before.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I guess June is a really crazy time with the finance office and the audit office and so forth. I
Fiscal
got
year.
I got a report of transactions from the auditor's office, and everything I have checked out with, or excuse me, everything they had checked out with what I had. There are a few things I have that were not in there yet, and I haven't had a chance to find out why it might be. Apparently, at the end of the year, things that might have been done in late May or June, or we think were done then, didn't pass final muster and might be done in July in the new year. Whatever it is, there are a few things, expenses, and I think there was one um, plot fee that was done in late May that I have in my report, but they had not shown it in their reporting as of supposedly the end of June. So whatever it is, we're in good shape. I match up with what they have. Um, One reason for the delay in the finance report was that first of all, I took Tractor Supply down to zero. We've gotten rid of that purchase order. And then the purchase order for Aubuchon and for Easthampton feed, we had been, that had been running for a long time, a few years. And we had added to it and spent from it and added to it and spent from it. And they said, we want to start fresh. So we basically put whatever we had back into our reserve fund. And then they opened up 2 new purchase orders for Aubuchon, $300, and for Easthampton feed, $300. So that's what's going to show up in my financial report. And we're in pretty good shape, I think. So if anybody has any questions on the statement of financial position. Oh, the only thing I do show is the $57.38, which Stephen has a receipt for, but until that's actually processed, I don't put it in as being spent yet. But it's pending. It will be pending.
Can I just ask on the proposed budget, you have the actual and
Okay.
you've been updating that, right?
Yep.
With how much you spent. Is the irrigation services just not, I know we pay to turn it on, but do we pay to turn it off all as one payment? It just says zero. And
It seems that way for the
Okay.
time being. I mean, the last
Okay.
bill we paid for them was back in November. So we probably will get the one bill from them once they turn everything off.
Okay, fab. Okay, cool. All right. So
I expect the price to go up a little bit. It went up last year, so.
oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. Cool. So we do
But
have
if you look at the budget and if you look at the budget variance, positive numbers on the income side means we're over. We've taken in more than originally budgeted.
mhm.
And if it's negative on the expense side, that's money that we haven't spent yet that has been budgeted. If you see positive numbers in expenses, it means we've gone over the budget amount for that item.
Okay.
So we're in pretty good shape right now.
Oh, I see. Okay, great. Cool. All right, awesome. Oh yeah, Karen, sorry. I'm not looking at the Zoom. I'm looking at the docs, and so I didn't see your hand raised.
Sorry, I must have touched it by accident. Sorry.
Oh, okay, great. All right, good. No problem then. All right. Anything else for financial?
Just to approve the statement of financial position.
Right.
The budget is really an informational kind of thing, just so we can see exactly where we are in terms of category of expenses and what we thought we'd spend.
Great. Welcome Ryan to the meeting. Great. Well,
Hi, I'm mostly just going to be here to listen in the background, but
awesome. Awesome. I hope the baby is listening too.
he is.
Okay, perfect. Great. All right. So I move to let's see, just before I say it. Okay, yeah. I move to approve the statement of financial position for.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
All right.
Awesome. Okay, operations.
Not a whole lot, except that people need to weed. So I'm gonna send out an email. I did an inspection, and really, I think there was only like one fail, two fails, and then there's just some that just need to be weeded. Mine included. So I'll just blind CC the folks that just need to weed. And it's pretty obvious where you're gonna need to weed. And but everything is, with this heat, everything is really gonna blast off, and it's gonna start going to seed soon. So that's the main thing. There's still a couple hoses that aren't wound up off the ground, so I don't know what we have to do to keep reminding people to do that, but yeah, I don't have a whole lot more. Somebody mowed up top, which is great. They didn't let me, I don't know who did it, but I'm gonna mow the middle corridor and then the bottom probably tomorrow, no later than Saturday. I think we have may have some rain coming in this weekend. I'm not sure yet. I need to go back.
It looks like maybe Friday night into Saturday morning.
Right, yeah. So I'm gonna try and get up there and mow tomorrow then.
And really quick, if you want to add to those emails about the weedy plots, if those folks want to come to the workday and have people help them, if they're feeling overwhelmed or anything like that, they can utilize.
Most of it, honestly, most of it's not that crazy. They should be able to knock it out fairly quickly. This just, some of the weeds are getting tall, and so they really need to go. And I would not weed whack them. And I'll remind people that I would yank them up by the roots, and it's a little bit of work, but you're better off with it doing that in the end. Yeah, this took off down in D2. Holy crap, man. Yeah, I may do some work there tomorrow, or I mean Saturday or early Sunday. Sunday, I can't make that time during the work party.
Cool.
And we need to double check and make sure. I think there's still some contractor bags. If not, we can pick up another box of them up at Aubuchon, because we're going to need them to get rid of for the thistle that gets taken out. Okay,
I'll check on that too.
And I can check on that. I know I'm going to be up there tomorrow and probably Saturday. And Ted, I'm going to be leaving a gas receipt in an envelope in the shed.
Yay!
Yeah, it's nice. We have 2 cans right now, so I have one at my house right now. I'm just gonna get $5 worth. I like to keep it rounded off like that.
Can you be at the workday on Sunday?
No, I won't be there at that time. I can be there like more in the morning, but I'm busy in the afternoon.
No, I was just wondering when I can get you the money.
I'll come up with some secret place to put it.
Okay.
In one of the fold holes
Karen,
that's in
did
my
you-
garden.
Somebody
There's
have
a
a
lot
fake,
of holes.
fake rock.
Something's taking a liking to my cabbage all of a sudden. I don't really have anything else to add. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, I
Karen,
have
did you?
two.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So, Frank, that there is that poison ivy growing up around the pump house. So is there some 30% vinegar in the shed?
It's gone. Somebody weed whacked everything.
It's gone. Okay.
Gone.
Okay. And
Either
the
that or
other,
someone brought a goat up there, but yeah, no, it's somebody got the weed whacker out and gave everything a haircut.
okay. And I usually trim around the pollinator garden with my nice little battery weed whacker,
Mhm.
but it's not working. So I'm gonna have to learn how to use the gas weed whacker. Is that normally filled with gas?
Yeah.
And can I just turn it on?
No, I mean you need to prime it, and I mean there's a booklet in there, but
Mhm.
If you if you're around Sunday, I can show you how to use it.
There's
But- and if
instructions on the
not-
side of the machine too.
Oh, okay, great. And if you want, would you like us to go around it with the weed whack on Sunday?
Yes, if I don't get to the weed whacker, well, what's today? Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Around the edges.
Okay, great.
That would be great. But I still need to either get another battery operated one or learn how to use the gas powered one.
I was really afraid to use the gas powered one, and I kept borrowing this other one that I'm used to using. Finally used the gas one, and it's great.
It's
So
pretty-
once
it's
you
pretty
get
simple.
used to it, it's like, oh, it's very powerful.
Okay. Yeah.
One with a blue switch on it.
And then just for everybody, look out for ticks. There's a lot of ticks. Mainly dog ticks now, but yeah, I found a couple on me today, and I wasn't really in a lot of high grass either.
Amazing. Great. Any other operations?
That's it.
Awesome. Sorry, my computer is glitching, so I'm gonna see if being not on video will help. All right. Okay, outreach reports. Margie sent an email just updating that we have a new gardener named Micah, and I'm meeting with her tomorrow to pick between the two available plots. And I think that was the main update, and then I have the hoses wound up was one, and then a note from Margie that doesn't have to do with outreach. So, and then did anyone want to do the minutes for this meeting for Eric?
Well, Sarah, my recommendation, because I used to do it too, is just you play that's the beauty of having a recording,
Yeah.
So much easier because you can go back, if you didn't catch something the first time, you go back. It's so much easier.
Great. Well, he did say he could just do it with the recording, but I just wanted to make sure if anyone was.
I think that's fine.
Okay, great. If anyone was dying to try, Okay, fab. All right, so that's outreach. We'll also skip path maintenance for now. The donation garden, I think it's been going okay. Definitely trying to figure out soil math was funny, but now that I'm looking around, it looks like everyone's bags are full and there's stuff growing in there. I'm wondering, my cats are insane. So, okay. I'm wondering if so Margie noticed that there's still a bunch of compost sort of on the hill. that could be good for growing things. And she had some extra butternut squash seeds that she thought, why not just stick them, since they grow well in mounds, sticking the seeds in that kind of composted zone, seeing if they grow, and then we can donate. And she would maintain them and then see if she could donate the squash. Does anyone have any feelings about that? Oh, Mark, you're muted. Mark, you're muted.
It's a little, yeah, I keep getting bleeped out on this Google Meet. I don't have the problem with Zoom. But anyway, with regard to this, the winter squash, it's a little late to start it. Usually you have to start that toward the beginning of June.
Karen?
Oh, sorry. I was just, I think it's a good idea. There are some squashes, not necessarily summer squashes, but interesting, you know, halfway between summer and winter that still could be put in now. If I used to have that seed. If I still have some, I can give that to Margie if she wants to do that.
Okay, cool. That would be great, because I think she just had extra seeds and was like, why not?
Yeah.
Some shorter growing season ones, that could be fun. Is anyone opposed to trying this?
No.
Yeah, I kind of, this is up there where the compost was dumped.
Yes, that
Yeah.
zone.
There's gonna
That doesn't seem like.
that's not gonna be easy to that's gonna have to be weeded, and it's not gonna be easy.
No,
So,
yeah.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Plus, that's where people walk from coming from their cars and stuff. So, I mean, I like the idea. I just don't think the location is ideal.
Okay.
Do we have an extra plot that hasn't been reserved? Because that's what we've done in the past. Just put some squash in a plot that isn't being used.
Yeah, I mean, I think Margie was just thinking because because the compost keeps getting put there, it's pretty happy soil, incidentally. And there's like little piles of compost, but it is maybe a tricky zone for walking. And it might be also just for mowing, it might be difficult to have to navigate.
Yeah, I
I think that there's really not as much as it looks like. You know, it's a very thin layer across the ground there.
There's actually there's a good bit of compost left in there. If you get a claw and start digging, it might be worthwhile to try and dig some of it out and put it in.
Well, maybe I'll just try to put in like, if we can dig some out, I'll put some in the plots by the parking, and then also get a bucket and put it in the pollinator, you know.
Yeah. Right.
Plots by the parking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that would make more sense.
Yeah, they're contained.
Okay, great. And then Stephen, did you have any updates about donation collecting?
Yes. I want to say this. So the last 2 weekends, I've had it prepared, but there have been no donations. I have not got into the donation garden to harvest it. I was under the assumption that those folks would have put it in the bins, in the coolers. But I mean, I can do that if that's desired. I mean,
why don't I just send you the contact information for everyone with a bag, and then you can reach out to them. What is happening with my cats? I'm sorry. It's like here. They've eaten. But I will give you the email addresses of the folks who have grow bags, and then you can coordinate with them if they'd prefer for you to harvest for them, or but maybe just emailing them directly is better.
all right. So I'm also not going to be around next week to do the. I'll put the ice in, but I won't be able to deliver to, if there is anything, to the community center.
Okay. I can do it, Stephen.
Right. Thank you, Mark.
That's what, Monday morning at 8, is that when you usually deliver?
Yes.
As somebody with a donation bag, I think since that was like a little bit of a later, a project that got started a little later. I am growing tomatoes and nothing is ready yet. And I've looked around at some of the other donation bags, and I think a lot of us are just growing things that aren't ready for harvest yet.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
It's early still. It's very early.
Okay.
But there are things like greens that clearly, there, all the greens.
Jane?
Hold on. Is there any room in the donation slot to put in?
We don't have the plot. We just have individuals taking care of grow bags. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I do have some extra basil, but I could just put it in mine and just donate.
Yeah, if you have the space, that would be awesome. If you want, you can even, I put in a tomato plant, one of those free tomato plants up by the parking, so it wouldn't go to waste. So you can put the basil in there too, and we'll harvest it to donate. Those can be accidental donation plots too. All right. Any other donation garden notes? All right, great. Karen with pollinator report.
So all 3 plots have perennials planted in them. The third one still has a few weeds I need to pull, but we are ready at this point to go ahead and build the next 3 of them. And I have, once we build them and put the soil in them, I have the cover seeds to put in to let that get growing this summer, and it'll die back in the fall, and it'll keep it mulched over the winter, and hopefully we'll be in good shape for next summer.
Great.
Stephen, yeah.
Just for clarification, Karen.
Yeah.
When we say build them, do we still have to get the lumber for that?
Yes, we do. I think we discussed this in the previous meeting.
That's what yes, I just wanted to make sure we were talking about the same thing. So can we, what about purchasing those boxes that someone is trying to peddle, instead of just buying the lumber, the ones that up by the road there?
Yeah, there are 2 boxes up by the road. Their proportions are different, but we could, we could put them in, and then we still need to build a 3rd box to use up that space.
Ryan?
Just about the boxes up by the road, those are just samples. The person has a whole lot more, which I only know because I bought a couple from them personally. So if you wanted more, but of that size, I think they are available.
Do we have a grow bag that could be used? Would you want to do something like that? Possibly, Karen?
I'd rather have the 3 beds where we can keep putting mulches in and building up the soil that way, rather than have, grow bag. We could put grow bag. There's some small space in the middle of those boxes that would be on either side, and I was thinking to put small herb gardens there. But to use up efficiently the space on the other side, the best thing would be to put in 3 boxes like we have on the first side. We can adjust it and put in, I don't know if the person who built those that are by the road can accommodate us building it more to what we have there.
I guess I wonder, if you have time to call them and get a price.
Okay, I don't know
if
who
it's
they
cheaper,
are.
I don't either. It just, the boxes have a phone number on there and no name. So but it might not be worth that much more time, because this project hasn't, we've been waiting a few months now, and you do know how to build the other ones. So I guess part of me is like, well, if it would take that much more time to coordinate and then approving the price of this other style, I
Yeah,
don't know how much cheaper it would be in the end.
if the price is close to what we would have paid anyway, I'd rather see it more symmetrical and just copy the 3 boxes that we have on the one side, and then we would have those on the other side as well.
So Ryan just said that that number is you can text the number on that's at the garden, and that they're very responsive, and it seems like they're $10 each for that size that's at the garden, which is very cheap.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
I'd like to know what kind of wood they're using. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it would not be great to have them rotting right away or have pressure treated wood. We don't know anything about what the wood
Ryan,
is.
did they say what kind of wood it was? I don't know if she.
If it's
but
fine,
I
they're not as substantial as
did not.
getting your 2x8s.
I think that's
Oh, Ryan.
probably true. I did not ask. I think that they're not super substantial, but they are. Yeah, I think that they're probably cheap for a reason. But they, you know, are pre-assembled. I think it just depends. Yeah, sort of if you're thinking about longevity versus cost versus other things.
I would think maybe for the pollinator purposes, just so this project can be really established, to just go ahead with the original plan.
Yeah.
And I leave it up to Karen to get that ball rolling. We have it set aside already in the budget.
Okay, well, I mean, the next step would be to order the lumber from Flurry's.
Great.
Do they charge for delivery?
Yes, they do. I don't know how much. I didn't ask him because, you know, I had a car that I could have fit. I have a Subaru to fit it into, but I can ask them that. We can. I'd rather
Norman?
not drag it out. You know, I'd like to get the cover crop growing in there, and if we wait until the next meeting to approve it all, then we won't even get them built until mid-August.
Norman?
I would be glad to pick up the lumber from Flurry. It's right close to my house. After you guys order it.
Great. And I think we've already approved that you can purchase the wood.
Okay.
Norman, if you could, I could cut the shorter pieces if you can get the lumber and come by the house and give me a couple of the boards, because I think we were going to do 8 foot by 4 foot.
Yes, that's what it was.
So
Very good, Ted. You and I can coordinate.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you give me 3 8-footers, I'll give you 6 4-footers. And bring them to the garden.
Somebody's going to order that
It's a
size,
deal.
right?
Okay, perfect. So Karen, you'll email, or you will order the wood and then just email Norman and Ted that it's happened, and then they'll get it all set.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
wood and the nails.
Do we need
Ted,
to purchase those?
We need to have, I don't think we have enough nails from the previous batch.
Yeah,
to finish the.
We can get some. I think I have some left over from when we did one of them, but we can put it together. We use 3-inch deck screws.
Right. Okay. And Ted, do you want those you know how you put some pieces of wood in the corner?
Right, right. If they're 8-footers,
Yeah.
let's see, we need 12.
They're only like 8 inches tall or so, right?
Okay, yeah. So
So it'd be one board.
one 4x4.
I can look up what lengths they offer it at and get one long enough.
One
that we
8-foot 4x4 should do it.
Okay.
And I could cut them if Norman brings me that also. I can cut those into 8-foot section 8-inch sections.
Okay. All right. I can contact them, the Flurries, right away.
Okay.
And Karen,
And then
you'll
after-
email me
oh.
what you've ordered so I can confirm that they have met the request of the order.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Confirm with me in an email what you've ordered so that I can double check that that's what we're getting.
Yes, I will send you what the order will be, that you can double check that when you see it.
All right.
So
Great,
as
and
far as I
thank you.
know, it's the lumber for the sides, plus the lumber for the corners, plus the deck screws. That's all we need, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Awesome. Any other pollinator updates or
Well,
questions?
just about purchases, with Stephen and Karen, with original receipts. If you're going to be at the garden, Frank, is it okay if they put their receipts in your envelope in the shed?
Sure.
And I'll pick them up from there. If you can get them up there to the shed.
Yeah, Ted, I'm gonna drop it off on my way out tonight, to you, at your place,
Okay, that's
in
fine.
an envelope that says to Barbara, but that's for you.
Okay.
So when I talk to Flurry, then I tell them to bill it to Easthampton, but I have to have the receipt and give that to Ted. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we should have the account there for just say community garden, Easthampton Community Garden.
Okay. And is there another department? Because when I talked to the people at Abashan, community garden wasn't what they wanted to hear. They wanted, I forget what the other department was, but we're under another department.
Yeah, they know exactly how
Okay.
it works. And I think, Stephen, did you just mentioned community garden? To the best of my knowledge, they created something that had our name on it, but
Okay.
He used to be, DPW.
Okay.
Okay. So when in doubt, DPW, but start with the community garden.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Well, that's so exciting. And
Yeah.
anything else? Anything else?
No.
Okay, great. So the next thing is just the volunteer hours. Not a lot of people are logging their hours. But I am gonna go through what Deb sent me and see, and based on who I know have come to the past work days and see which plots are left and contact them just to say like, hey, like, have you done hours? Note it down. And if they haven't done any, talk to them a bit. So that'll be that. And great. Before we move on to a couple other things, is there any other feedback? All right, great. So we didn't talk about it. And now I'm like, I also didn't put it on oh, I skipped it on accident. I crossed it off. Too eager. The compost operations, we tabled it a little. So I went over the plan and then forwarded you guys the document that my friend Margot made for our proposed compost operations. It looks like to get started, it's going to be around $100 in materials or 120. Like we want a buffer. Did we feel like that was too big of a project monetarily to do this season? Should we wait till next season?
What do you think, Ted?
That's really up to what you want to do. I mean, we do have the money.
Okay.
And
our anticipated expenses won't eat up what we've got left?
We got an extra $50 out of the compost. We're going to have another plot fee coming in, so we probably, we can handle it if you really want to get started on it.
So weird. My documents that I've had up on meeting are just black squares now. Something is going on with Google. I feel like okay. So I can't see our budget anymore, but I'm gonna trust what you're saying. Norman.
Doesn't it make sense to start the compost now? I mean, we're gonna have a lot of stuff to put in, and it takes a while to get the compost cooked. So
The sooner we start, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the cost again?
When I looked up for a roll of the wire, it was like 90 something, and it would give us a little bit more wire than we needed. The landscaping, my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it. But it's basically like chicken wire that's with squares instead of that like hexagons. And that's the only material really, and some clips to clip them into cylinder shapes, and probably some landscaping T-pins to hold them down in the ground. And at this point, we'd only be filling the first of the three bins. So I would only set up one, and then at the next work day, we'll set up the second as we start the project.
And is this going to be located right next to where the other ones are?
That we'll have to discuss next. First, just if we feel like we have the budget to go and order the wire and also organizing a work day.
So we have enough money, Ted, in reserves to pay the $90 if that's all the cost there is?
Yeah, we have enough money there. I mean, we're going to use what we budgeted for building materials, probably with the pollinator garden boxes.
If it's only $90, so you're pretty sure.
$90, we can adjust.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna guess let me just give me a second here, and I'll just find the email that I send. Let's see. Did I not send it? Is that like what happened? Anyways, I can't find it, but I think the wire is it's between $90 and $100. I don't know the exact amount, but can I comfortably go with some wiggle room of $100 and order it? Is that?
You get it from Overton?
Yeah, I'll get it from them. Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm going to do that. That's exciting. And so the next big question is, do we want to put it where the compost is right now? And with that, we need to see if Frank has been able to contact a farmer to shove that debris to the side, or should we just use the current thistle plots as the new compost zones, and it's already mulched, which Margot mentioned is good for controlling stuff from not growing like it into the compost and such. Yeah. Anyone have an opinion? Is it a good way to use up the thistle plot?
Just put down some black mat, whatever they call it for the
Yeah.
and put your composting in there. As far as I can see, that area is not going to be used again as a plot. That it's pretty much, well, eradicating the thistle just seems to be an impossibility. I don't know, Frank, what you think about that, but to bring it back to where somebody else is going to use it as a plot, is there a possibility of that, or should we just cover it up and try to keep it down and put the composting there? What would that be? D1, D2 area?
Yeah, D1,
D2.
D2, C1, C2. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I don't, as far as doing the compost there, I mean, the thistle's there already. I would just be
Yeah.
afraid.
Might be helping the thistle. Huh?
I don't, yeah, I don't.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
I think so.
I would,
Okay.
I would defer to the compost expert, actually.
Okay, I will ask her.
I mean, I think ideally it'd be nice to be able to do it where we have it, but yeah, I'll try and get up there and talk to Russell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will email her, and if you can let me know as soon as you hear from Russell, if it's possible to move that pile, that would be great then we can just do it there. And if not, I'll see how possible Margot thinks it is to make sure our compost doesn't get infected with thistle.
Right.
Karen.
Well, we have one of those plastic compost bins, and any weeds around the border of it get giant. They manage to squeeze themselves out to the sun, and then they just take up all those nutrients, and they're monsters.
Okay. So probably not, it might be fueling the fire a little bit. Okay.
Hey, Frank, can you put up enough landscaping fabric down, out, away from that would be impervious to the thistle?
No,
growing through?
I don't think the fabric would do any good. You'd have to get something a lot thicker than that. Yeah.
I'm talking several layers of fabric. I don't know. That's
Quickcrete.
Concrete.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, a couple. I mean, I remember we even used the tarp one time, but they rot. So it's tough.
yeah.
Hi.
So the plot thickens.
Ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha ha
We got
ha.
some comedians in this bunch.
Okay, great. Well,
We
so for
could
now,
buy concrete.
It's in the budget.
just really go off the
Wouldn't
rails.
be the first time we put down a slab.
I mean, it'd be fun to get one of those like propane flamethrower dragon things. and just
Yeah.
blow them.
Let's do that.
They work.
Yeah.
Do it after a good rain, where everything's wet.
Well, for now, let's talk to Russell about
Yeah.
seeing if it's possible to move that pile. I'll reach out to Margot, see what she says. I think Karen's right though. Even just staying on top of what weeds are growing on the edge, we probably want them to be more manageable weeds than the thistle. And separate from that, I am there's been a lot of good experiments with putting different plants in the thistle plot, and I do think if we can keep pursuing that, it might turn into its own extra little pollinator garden if we can just keep perennials growing in there that are stronger than the thistle, like those daisies and the yarrow, and but that's kind of a separate conversation as that continued thistle management. But as for the compost operation, that sounds like a good plan.
Could we
yeah.
possibly hold off on purchasing until we know exactly where
Yes.
and how that's
Yeah.
going to be done?
Yeah, but since it's been decided, I think we can handle that through email versus waiting till the next meeting. But since this
Sounds
meeting's
good.
later in the month, the next meeting's really close. So great. Okay, cool. I would love to keep today's meeting short, but I do have on here if we want to update the dog policy, we still haven't done that, or at least I'll put that in everyone's ear if you want to reflect on reading the guidelines and seeing if we should change the dog policy to be no dogs, or I think it's no dogs right now. But if we should change it to they need to be on a leash, or
Oh, I like the leash. I'm thinking of
I do too.
I'm thinking of Jen Burrell, who brings her dog with her. I think for her it might be security. You know, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm trying to recall this got brought up. I think maybe it was, I think people were concerned about, or maybe it's just because it said no dogs were allowed, but let me just see if I can get into my drive really quick.
I mean, we don't have that many dogs that show up, and so far what I've seen is that
I
the dogs,
just don't let them run loose. And I think that's
if
okay.
people can keep them leashed so that they're not in anyone's garden, maybe that's okay.
I agree with that. Keep
Sorry.
them on a leash, keep them out of other people's gardens.
And pick up after your dog.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, we do it in the urban areas, and I think maybe sometimes people feel a little freer in more rural areas, but around the garden, I think it's necessary.
Yeah.
Can
Okay.
you use dog poop for compost?
No,
Okay.
you can't use
Norman.
you can't use anything that eats meat. You can't use it.
All right, that's cool.
Stephen's got a question.
Okay.
Stephen
Okay, great.
has something to say, sir.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry. The guidelines don't mention anything about dogs, by the way.
I'm going to move that going forward, we adopt as a trial policy the allowance of dogs on leashes poop pick up.
Yes.
Poop pick
Okay.
up. And let's just test it out for the rest of the year, see what it's like, and then we can adopt it, more final version in our operating bylaws. Whatever.
I think it's a good idea.
I second that.
I third that.
All in
Dog-
favor
dog
then.
pilot. We'll call it the
Everyone.
dog pilot program.
The dog pilot.
Dog fire.
Wonderful. Pretty.
The DPP.
I'm sure we can come up with a good pun that spells something out if we really wanted to work on it. The DOG, the dog, something guidelines. Anyways,
Right. That's good, Sarah. You got it.
Great.
Dog.
Well, that's awesome. And then
Well, hold on. We had a motion. We had a second and third. We just need a vote.
I seconded it.
the all in favor got a little mumbled. So let's do it. All in favor.
Aye.
I
All right, fab. And
Finding
so
our
it's
garden with dogs.
yes, yeah.
No
Um,
cats.
Apparently no cats anymore.
There's a neighbor
Sad.
cat.
It might be good to bring some dogs. Honestly, there's a deer problem suddenly. A lot of my stuff is being eaten by deer, which is
That's
new.
right.
Yeah,
What a
that's
blessed
right.
many years without that.
I think they've been nibbling on my cabbage, so I'm gonna get my slap your mama hot powder and spice up their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was driving in there the other morning early, there was this big stag with a huge rack. It was standing on the road looking at me, and then as I got closer to it, it walked off into the field, but it was big.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
It didn't run, it walked.
Yeah,
It
it didn't
walked.
like run at your car. Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah,
have to
right.
run.
Well,
Frank?
amazing. I mean, I'm glad we have new friends at the garden, of course. So I won't be too
Maybe
long.
put out Frank's warning about dog ticks at the garden.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Okay, great.
That's funny. We have no dogs, but we have dog ticks. We
Yeah,
have
what the
deer, but
heck?
I haven't seen any deer.
Go figure.
I just look at deer as tick islands, mobile tick islands. That's what they are.
Ticks are waiting for the dogs.
Okay, awesome. Did anyone have anything else they want to just make sure gets discussed?
Nah.
Okay, great. So the next meeting is August 2nd, 7 p.m. And it's going to be great. And yeah, and then work day on Sunday.
Yeah.
I move to end the meeting. Is anyone second?
All right.
Second.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Sarah, August 2nd is a Friday.
Oh, it is. Wow, I can't look at a calendar. Tough. Let's see. That is a Friday.
First. It's the first. It's the
So the
first.
first. Oh, that's exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the
Okay.
next meeting
Yeah, I'm
is on the
gonna miss
1st.
that meeting. I'll be out of town.
All right. Great. Okay. Now that that's correct, 7 p.m. on the 1st, I'm gonna end the meeting. Anyone moving to end the meeting?
Move to close the meeting.
The second.
Second. All in favor?
Hi.
Hi. Okay, great.
Hi.
I'll see you guys out
See you in the
there.
garden.
Ciao.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.